Hey guys, today some cool stuff. First we'll do the usual. I have recently started using this Stirling R4L soap, Responders for Life benefit soap, and it has the gray vetiver scent, kind of like Tom Ford's gray vetiver, and I like it a lot. And so I'm going to use it today like I did yesterday. I am going to use this soap for about 2 weeks because I'm really curious how much Stirling soap I use per shave. So I'm going to use it for 2 weeks. Hopefully that's enough to get a decent figure. I figured out with Chiseled Face, I was able to get a nice 4-pass lather for 28 days using only 10 grams. And that's pretty low compared to a lot of other guys who lather up. And so I'm curious about Stirling. I love the Stirling base. So that's what we're in for. This is a Stirling Finest Badger knot. It's on a CravingShaving handle, but it is very closed up. And so I'm hoping by using it more, the density can spread out a little bit, give me a little bit less backbone and more comfort. And so I'm going to use it a lot over the next 2 weeks probably to try to see if there's anything I can do about that backbone. Now, that's the usual stuff. And I've got a Gillette Silver Blue, and it's only had a few uses on it. And what am I going to put it inside? I finally got in, thanks to a great trade from another shaver who I enjoy interacting with. And this is it right here. This is a high polish Wolfman. This is a titanium handle that I got off eBay that I really like. But not a Wolfman handle. This is the WR2. It's easy to distinguish because of the posts that come down from the top cap. This is a design. He brought it back similar to the Lasco BBS1 that he worked on years ago, and he made some changes. And here we go. So this is my first time using it. Now, what's different about this guy? You know, I have shaved with a WR2 before. Well, this one, and as you can see, the little 4 posts there hold the blade perfectly in alignment. This one is a lower gap. I had a 95 before, and I found a guy who had an 85, I think. And so I thought, you know what, this 95 is nice, but I'm really interested in if I can get something that's really efficient, but very comfortable and smooth. This is a kind of a lifetime razor that I just want to enjoy so much for years to come. And I think I'd like to do that at a mild, smooth setting that I can just whip it out anytime and enjoy it. And so this is my first test, my first shave with this. And there's the exposure of the blade, and it is kind of sticking out there. But if you have a plane between the top cap, if you draw kind of a straight line between the top cap and the safety bar here, then this blade is going to be a little bit less exposed than the 95. So let's give this guy a shot. Hopefully we get a nice, smooth, yet efficient shave. About 24 hours worth of growth is what we are dealing with. Cool water. Weather has changed, and so our water is a lot cooler than it has been the last few weeks. All right. Now, yesterday's loading time was 20 seconds. Today I feel like trying out 15 because I got 5 passes of lather yesterday. Don't need 5. Let's try 15 seconds. Plus, it may have a little bit of residual water, which could help it to get on the brush a little more quickly. Sometimes your loading time will vary if it's a soap that you use day after day versus one maybe that you use once a month or something like that. All right, so I think we've had this guy soaking maybe for about 6 minutes or so. I'm going to shake out most of the water, and I measured this one brush, 8.5 teaspoons of water it will hold. Like what I just shook out now is almost 8.5 teaspoons of water. Okay, so 15-second load. Let's see what we get. Just light pressure. Just 2 more seconds, which just doesn't seem like a lot. Let's just see what happens. If maybe I shook out too much water from the brush, you know, I don't know. It sure doesn't look like much, does it? But it could be plenty for 3 passes. Let's find out. Roger Quintero lather bowl. The plans are on my description of this video if you have access to a 3D printer. Man, that scent's coming up to my nose. What a great scent. I'm a big fan. If you like fine accoutrements, they have a tremendous base as well. And they have Fresh Vetiver is the name of the soap that they have that has this pretty much identical smell. I'm really curious. I made my next trial of usage data to see how quickly I use up a soap. Might be with Fine. I'm a big fan of theirs. It's a hard soap, and a lot of times a hard puck will give you more use per ounce or per gram than a crope will, like Stirling, and definitely more than usually a cream will. Well, that soap didn't look like too much, but with just 1 teaspoon of water added, we've got this much lather. Now 1.5 teaspoons. Something I'm also interested in trying in this shave. This brush, like I've said, is very dense. I'm working it a lot, trying to get it to open up, have less bristles in the center so that it splays with less effort while I'm applying and working the lather on my face. I have consistently, in the first pass, been greeted with just a ball of hair as I take it from the soap here and then start to work it very quickly. Anything in the middle of the knot here is just gone. There's no lather there, and the only thing is any of the lather on the outside. Well, I got to thinking, maybe one of the things I need to do with this brush is, once I have my lather created, push the brush down into the lather, so that, because see, there's so many bristles in this type of knot that it's harder for the lather to get up into the center of the brush. With a more normal silver tip that's kind of average density, like this one from Golden Nib, I think, it just happens naturally. You don't need to put the lather in the center. It's just already there because there's not enough hairs to keep it out, keep it away. So this time, hopefully I'll remember when I go to the first pass. I want to focus on really jamming the knot down in the lather to push the lather, because maybe the lather is going to be my friend in terms of getting some of that density out of the center of the knot. If I can push lather in there, it'll make the knot spread open itself, and that might give me the comfort I want. Why am I working on this brush? Giving it so many chances, trying to work it out, was because it's a pretty inexpensive way for users to get into the Badger brush system, thought, the way Badgers work. And I bought this one even, I think, $20, because it was a factory seconds. It was a Stirling had looked at it, and I think maybe it shed a little bit too much for them in their preliminary tests that they do for each of the brushes that they have. They test them all. Isn't that awesome? And it let loose of a few too many hairs. That was just more than the standard that they wanted to have. Now here's the funny thing. Since I've had it, very few sheds, very few hairs, bristles have been shed. So I would strongly encourage you guys who are budget conscious to look in that, see if they have any of the seconds available. Because I'm sure I'm glad I went with mine, and I've had really no problems at all with it. And as we can see, that short little load time of 15 seconds is plenty. Looks like it's going to be plenty of lather to get the job done. How does that? Do a little look at it. Kind of smoothed out, so it's on its way. For my preferences, it's very close to being done. Still could use a little bit more elasticity. We've got 2 teaspoons of lather in it. I'm sorry, of water. Let's put another half in. Stirling is a terrific base that can take a lot of water if you want to have a nice slick lather that is still kind of creamy. It's a tallow soap, not vegan. You can also run it rich and thick and have a dense lather if that's what you like. If you choose to do that, make sure you spend a little time on your face there, that first pass. You've got to make sure that soap works into your skin to protect you, and it's a little harder for a drier lather to do that. A wetter one can really bond with your skin kind of quickly. But in my experiences, the drier ones need more time, or they can just not protect you quite as well, even if it's a terrific soap like Stirling. All right, kind of bring it down here. Yeah, we increased in volume with just that half a teaspoon there. I mean, that's just terrific. It's like chiseled face has the micro bubbles a little bit, kind of like Stirling does, but it's not. Stirlings are much smaller. And I think that's why it's a creamier base than the chiseled face, for instance. Chiseled face is still very effective, but to me, Stirling's just a little bit better. Why don't we go ahead and try to use this one? It looks great. So, like I said, I'm going to remember to kind of jam it down in there to get that lather into the center of the knot. Let's see if that makes a difference in the comfort for me. And again, let's refresh my face with some water. Hard water here as usual. Yeah, that's better. A little bit better. A little bit more comfy, easier to display. Now pretty quickly that lather starts to go away from the center, but at least it started out nice. I don't do that. A lot of guys don't even do this scrubbing type of motion like this. They just stick to painting motions because maybe they don't have a goatee, so they can kind of do this across, their whole face. I wish sometimes I was able to apply lather like that. Well, this gives you plenty of scrub, but it's still very soft, so it's not scratchy at all, not scritchy. Those are some of the words we sometimes use. But it is still quite a bit of effort to keep it in display. With this brush, I may see if they have a fan-shaped Stirling Badger on their seconds page, or maybe I can pick up one used and just compare the two knots. See if maybe the people say the fan shape has less backbone, but to me it kind of seems weird. Like this brush, a fan shape would have higher bristles on the corners here, and to me that would offer more resistance and so more backbone. But maybe I'm wrong, or maybe just in terms of physics it just doesn't work out that way. But I'm going to try it sometime because it's an inexpensive trial, and I bet I can sell that brush back if I don't happen to like it. All right, got a good lather on me. So it did take 2.5 teaspoons of water, just like I did yesterday, but I did 5 seconds less of loading time. This lather doesn't seem to be too thin, looks pretty good. You don't need a big old Santa Claus beard amount of thickness on your face. You mainly just need that little thin layer right up next to your skin that is kind of halfway bonded to your skin to be able to protect it. All right. A little bit of blade feel, but very nice. I love how consistent it is, meaning the blade edge is being held so firmly that there's very little chatter. So that means as it moves across my skin, it's not vibrating, you know, cutting more than other times, that sort of thing. This is very nice. I'm confident that this is going to be a good, efficient shave. Matter of fact, my first impression with this, I want to try more blades for sure, but is that I could go even milder, but they don't even make a, he doesn't even make a milder one. So it'd have to be a custom job. Oh man, that smells so good. I like that. Rinse. A little personal story here. One of my favorite things about winter is the tap water and how it becomes cool. In the summer, the tap water is kind of and it tastes okay, but the temperature, you know, you just throw some ice cubes in there and you're fine. But, and so I keep a cup like this on my desk and just drink water all day, or I'll put some of those little mixes in there sometimes. And so it's really nice in the winter when the temperature is cold enough where I don't have to add ice, and it's just like glacier, alpine glacier water coming down out of the tap. It's just delicious straight from the tap without having to wait for anything to cool off or anything like that. So, you know, I'm looking forward to the winter when it gets even colder. Have to have a little water for my throat while I'm talking here. All right, did a rinse. Let's do another load here, and man, this 15 seconds is not a problem at all. Plenty. It didn't look like I was going to have enough soap, but it just wasn't an issue. Jammed the soap into the brush like that. Now I can switch. Oh, this is a little drier. I think oh, come on. You know what I did? I dried my face after I did the rinse. I do that at the end of the shave, not in the middle of the shave. The problem here is that my usual towel, I had to get a different one, and so that's kind of thrown off a little bit of my habits. Again, you don't see very thick of a coat, and that is just fine. Especially after the first pass, because we've already kind of laid the groundwork for that slick layer of soap, and so the skin is definitely, by the second pass, conditioned and protected. Cross grain now. I believe I can tell that this is a lower gap than the 95 that I had. Still feels like it's going to be efficient, but it doesn't quite have the same exposure and feel. And I would have been happy with the 95. It was comfortable. I was just seeking even more comfort and smoothness. I bet with Wolfman, so many people were going for the more aggressive heads that he just maybe, when he was thinking about how low to go for the WR2, the 95 I believe is the lowest one. I bet just the demand for the more mild settings just wasn't there, so maybe he didn't want to go that far down. Just guessing. All right, rinse again. This rinse smooth face felt terrific. Even on the first one, the feel of the lather also was there, so I know I haven't watered this guy down too much, so I believe I have it in a really good spot, the lather today. But the first and second passes, I bet I can walk away. Oh yeah, I definitely could stop with just 2 passes, so that's nice. And this is a mild setting, but a mild gap in this particular head, but it still has done the job very well, and that's without going against the grain. Let's lather up for the third pass just because I can. And yeah, look at what I've got left. Still plenty of lather. Could I reduce down to 10 seconds? Would that be just crazy? Again, third pass now. You do not have to scrub like this unless you just feel like it. You could mainly just switch right to painting motion, especially if you have kind of a scritchy brush. You don't want to get brush burn. But I'm doing it because I want to work this brush. Great scent. And it's not too strong. It's easy going. The scent strength is nice, at a nice place for me at least. Cross grain again. Probably won't pick up too many hairs. It's sliding along. I do feel a few cutting. Just a nice movement. Real easy gliding across my face here. Now, before I think about, talking about a custom head or something like that, I did get on the wait list for Wolfman. He did open up a wait list. Looks like maybe about a year. To get that done. But I don't mind waiting. It's easier to wait than it is to check forums all the time, trying to be the first one to grab a used piece, or to pay the crazy prices on eBay. That's just nuts. Shave looks great. Smells awesome. Really happy. Nice close cut. Do I even need to? No, I don't need to hit that area again. There are a few tips that I can see. And so it would depend on your job. If you are at the kind of elite level job where your shave really matters, then you might want to, well, you're probably going to be able to go against the grain and just knock out those hairs anyway, but you may want to work on it more, have a more efficient razor, or just change your technique a little bit to get those. I could probably switch and do a direction like this and take care of those, but I just forgot this time. Usually I'll do that on the third pass. All right, final rinse. So I did actually use up a little bit more water than the 2.5, but that was because I dried off my face after the first pass. So we're not going to count that in the formula today. We got the hiccups. Excuse me. Let's see how many passes of lather we have left. Still, I could make 2 passes out of that. Wow. That was a 15-second load. Why don't we try 10 tomorrow? I bet it'll work. Won't look like much, but I bet it'll work. How about that? That's a wonderful lather right there. Wet and slick, but still, as you can see, very creamy. Luxurious. The rinses felt terrific. All right. Cleanup time. Today for my post shave, I'm going to go with something that doesn't have any alcohol. I just felt like doing Lucky Tiger today. It's a tonic, not really an aftershave. It's got cool things like calendula, chamomile, aloe vera, that sort of thing. And give it a little shake. got an orange scent to it. The cream shave of this brand works really well. Also, I've really enjoyed it. I may not actually have a video up on that. I may have used that so long ago that that I wasn't making videos at the time, but it's nice. Just a pleasant orange scent, maybe a little bit of spice to it to make it interesting. I like it. Yesterday I discovered, speaking of orange, that the Blood Oath from Dr. John's gave me a little red reaction. I didn't really feel it per se. I did feel a little bit of tiny bit of discomfort. Almost like the absence of, like right now, I have a good feel after the shave. And that just wasn't there yesterday with the Blood Oath. So obviously, chemically, it's got something that bothers my face a little bit. All right, man, happy with that shave. The WR2 in this gap did really well. I'm looking forward to trying other blades on it. The first pass was, I did a little bit of blade feel, but then after that, smooth the rest of the way through. Very nice. So happy with that. Happy with the Stirling soap. And the brush, you know, it's still working. It's I think it definitely behooves me to shove that lather into the core of the brush to have it spread out and open more. But I'll keep working it, see if I can relax it a bit. So there we go. Another WR2 gap on the books, and put a video out there in case that helps somebody else. And I hope there was something here for you. You take care. Thanks to my dude, we did a switch. I sent him my 95 and he sent me his 85, and I really am glad we did that. Take care, and this is Sugar Daddy Shaves. Bye.